and welcome to today's video. As you can already probably tell, we are sitting down, so it's going to be a Q&A, and obviously by the time you can see that as well. For anyone that is new here, my name is Nick Priest. I'm currently second officer on the Boeing 787.
I'm Emily, I'm cabin crew on the 737.
So the first question is from Luca DeBoss. Is it hard to deal with the fact you and Em are always traveling and being apart from each other? I guess we could both answer this, but I would say probably the simple answer is if it wasn't for FaceTime, it would be a lot harder, that's for sure. I guess I'm on long flights typically, so obviously I'm like offline for 10, 12, 14 hours sometimes. But, you know, I guess it's typically when Em is probably sleeping as well back in Australia. And then yeah, I guess we talk obviously as much as we can, really.
I don't think it's that much of a problem, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you're not really away, because we FaceTime all the time, and the only time that we don't talk is when you're in the air flying. And that's usually when I'm asleep, so
yeah, it's
not like you're gone or you're away for days on end and I don't hear from you.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, it doesn't feel like you're away.
So I'd say all up, like, I wouldn't say it's hard. It'd probably be easier if we both had like a, I don't know, 9 to 5 job.
I feel like I see you more than people think.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems to work. Like, we bid for the same days off and stuff together, so we obviously travel a fair bit together and stuff. So there's probably on the other side of that, if we did have a 9 to 5 job, that wouldn't be possible. Like, we wouldn't have access to staff travel, so we wouldn't be able to travel so easily and freely, and we have a bunch of days off. You know, sometimes like 3, 4, sometimes 5 days off, just rostered in a month. So we don't even have to take annual leave to, like, if we want to go away or something like that, or go to Brisbane to visit Em's family or anything like that. Next one is from GNSGML11. If you guys don't get into a cadet type course, it will be a longer road to do an airline pilot. I guess I kind of have talked about this 2 videos ago, but the very simple answer is yes, it would be. But, you know, getting into a cadetship type course is not the only way to become an airline pilot. In this day and age, it is the quickest way, for sure. It's really just a sped up program, so basically within 2 years, you complete all your training from knowing nothing to having a frozen ATPL and being ready to fly for an airline. So, yeah, it would be a longer road, because I guess on the other side of that, if you don't get into a cadetship, typically you'll get your CPL, potentially your MECIR, which is your multi-entry command instrument rating, which is basically allowing you to fly IFR, which is the instrument flight rules, so allowing you to fly, you know, in clouds and stuff like that, and then go build hours, whether instructing or flying a skydive plane or something like that. Yeah, there's heaps of options, but I guess simple answer, it would be a longer road if you did not get into a cadetship.
Like this video if you have no idea what Nick just said. I am one of those people. Paris Williams, what staff travel benefits do you receive with your airlines? Who do they extend to? Are you family, friends, etc.? Our staff travel benefits are different. It depends. It's different airline to airline. We have different code shares, so my airline has different alliances with, like, compared to yours. But basically, it's just a discounted fare. I don't remember the actual discount percentage.
Yeah.
But it's heavily discounted flights, domestic and international with code shares.
So yeah, I mean, mine's the same. Heavily discounted. We still obviously pay a percentage of the price, but it is all standby. So yeah, we do work with different airlines, so we're in different alliances. But between us, we basically, I don't know, we pretty much have everyone. We have everyone in Australia, and internationally we like.
Have most.
I don't know. I can't really think of anyone that we probably don't have, to be honest.
Yeah. Steve Hoffmaster. Excellent video. I always enjoy seeing what you two are up to. Do you plan on any trips together soon? Take care for now.
Well, my next lot of annual leave, which I guess is the same as you, is in February. I might not make it to that annual leave. I may go up to first officer before February, unsure yet. And if that does happen, then whatever leave I have next year will be wiped away. It's kind of up in the air right now. But I guess...
We're going to Brisbane in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to Brisbane to see Em's family.
For Christmas?
Yeah, for Christmas.
I think that's what we have planned. We don't want to plan anything until we find out what you're doing. Yeah.
Louis75 asked, Nick, what other aircraft would you like to fly aside from the 787? I would love to fly the Boeing 747, but unfortunately, I mean, they're already starting to phase them out now. I guess by the time I could get onto a 747, they may already all be gone, so I may not get that opportunity. But, I don't know, they may not be. So, yeah, I'd love to fly the Boeing 747. Harry Allen asked, any tips for beginners in the gym? I guess my main tip would be, if you are starting out, focus on, I guess, putting on size and putting on strength. So trying to lift as heavy as you can and eat a lot, because obviously that's going, if you eat more, you're obviously going to put on more size. So getting any calorific surplus. If you don't know what your maintenance calories are or your basal calories, I would Google that after this video, or pause it right now and Google that. There's heaps of online calculators to figure out your basal metabolic rate, and then if you go into a surplus, you're going to be putting on weight and putting on size and muscle, and if you go in deficit, you're going to be obviously what's called cutting or shredding. But you know, as a little plug as well, if you want to pick up my 90-day transformation ebook, you can download that. And it's only $2.99, which
that's good.
I think that's, I don't know. I wanted to put it at a price that like heaps of people obviously could access it if you want to get into it. So yeah, if you go to fitnesstoflight.com, you can download that instantly.
But you can injure yourself. Make sure you know what you're doing before you start lifting really, really heavy. No EAU.
What's it?
When are you guys getting a dog? Love from Hawaii.
I guess we're still figuring that out. We're gonna get a dog, but I guess as we've kind of answered in the past, we're both not home enough to look after a dog between us both.
Lou asked Nick Priest question. When do you guys meet the first time we went? We went out to a restaurant for dinner and a drink.
Joy Davis, that girl's adorable. She definitely is. I mean, it's not really a question, it's a statement. It's an actual factual fact.
Omar Farouk. Hey Nick, I got a question. What would be your number one advice for balancing a hectic work/studying schedule and the gym and just chilling?
To be honest, I reckon it gets easier once you're actually like full-time in an airline. So I guess I would refer, it's probably the hardest when I was studying or doing my cadetship, because yeah, it was very, very full on. So it was basically 6 days a week. I mean, effectively 7. I mean, if the weather was good on the weekends, you obviously went flying. And if you weren't flying, I was basically studying. So during that period, I tried the gym, I guess, as much as I could, but I think probably I really only got to the gym maybe 2-3 times a week. The study and stuff had to kind of take a priority at that period of time in my life, but obviously now like it is a lot easier because now you're just doing your job. And obviously you still have to study and stuff, like especially when sims are coming around, to just brush up on knowledge and stuff. I guess ultimately number one piece of advice would be to try and get in a routine, or obviously you have to be kind of flexible and fluid, especially in the airline industry. Like if you're gonna go to the gym, know you're gonna go to the gym, and then obviously fit other things in around it. Or if you obviously have an exam you have to study for, focus on studying for that and get that done. And if you feel like you've had enough study and stuff, go to the gym. I don't know, it's kind of hard to give one solid piece of advice on that. Going to the gym for an hour is probably going to help your study and stuff like that, to be honest with you, because I mean for me, I normally go put music in and just kind of block out everything else and kind of not really think about it too much, so mentally you're giving yourself a break, I guess. Anyway, yeah, hope that helps in some capacity. Hannah Hughes asks, question for cabin crew. What airline would you recommend for a starting point, and would you recommend starting on doing domestic flights or international? FYI, I love your videos. Thanks, Hannah. Appreciate that.
What airline would you recommend for a starting point? That's hard because I think each airline has its pros and cons. I can't speak for every airline, so I'm not really sure what the rules and regulations and conditions are for Australian companies versus like Emirates or Etihad or Qatar or whatever. But I think go with an airline that, just go for it.
There's probably not too much difference really.
No, if you're in Australia, most of the Australian companies are pretty similar in their conditions. I think the salaries vary dependent on which airline you work for, but in saying that, working for a budget airline isn't necessarily a bad thing. I started out at a budget airline and I loved it, it was awesome. So I wouldn't rule off those airlines just because they're budget or anything. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad company to work for. I would suggest just trying and going to interviews for a bunch of airlines. Whichever ones are hiring, just go to all of them and see which company you like the sound of more once you go to the assessment day, because they tell you what your conditions are going to be like, what the company's like to work for.
I guess just to add on to that, probably for anyone, cabin crew or pilots, if you apply for an airline and you don't get in, like, try not to be disheartened. I know it's obviously going to be a little bit disappointing, but just keep applying.
I got knocked back my first ever interview, cabin crew interview. I made it through. They do like a group assessment, and then you do, if you're selected, you do a one-on-one with a interviewer. So the current company I work for, I didn't make it through initially. And then I went to a different interview and got through that and worked for that company for 2.5 years. And now I've been at my current airline for 1.5 years, the one that initially rejected me. So don't give up. Would you recommend starting on doing domestic flights or international? I think that's a personal preference as well. Depends on how much you want to be home, how much you have a passion for seeing different countries and being away from family a lot more than you would domestically.
Heng Zhang Ming asks, when are you going to get your 3rd stripe? Is getting upgraded to a first officer just depending on your seniority in the company and hours? Yeah, I guess I've been touching on this a fair bit the last few videos because it's coming very, very close to me. So yeah, I guess my 3rd stripe is almost kind of around the corner, presuming I pass type rating and everything like that. But yeah, it's basically has been depending on seniority. Hours, not so much. I mean, once your seniority number comes up to become a first officer or captain and you meet the minimum requirements, so you have enough hours, then you are eligible and can get that. So it kind of ties in with that. 3 stripes incoming soon. I keep saying that.
3 bars. Vishnu Pramod. Question for M, do you get overnight allowances and free hotel stays when you are away from home for work? Yes, you do get overnight allowances. So every port that you stay in away from your home base, you get an overnight allowance. That allowance is different depending on what seniority you are. So like a supervisor will get more than just cabin crew. But yeah, you do get an overnight allowance. You get overtime as well if you work overtime.
It's same as us. When you're aware, the company pays for everything. The hotels are provided, transport's all provided, in allowance, obviously for food and stuff, which goes up and down depending on the exchange rates in the countries you go to as well.
Ours is just a base. It's a standard set rate because it's all within Australia. But the company's sending you to away from home base, so they have to put you up and provide transport for you.
Mahek Shah asked, sorry if I said that wrong. First of all, how do you both manage your social life and work life?
For me, it depends. I try and make my work life work for me, so I have some sort of work-life balance. So in my airline, you can bid for certain whatever you want. So you could bid for overnights, you could bid for early starts, late starts, long days, short days, days off, whatever, weekends off. So I know a lot of people bid for weekends off or overnights if they've got friends in. If you're based in Melbourne and you've got friends in Perth, you can bid for Perth so you always see your friends in Perth, or bid for your weekends off so you can see your friends who work during the week, or you just have to sort of find a system that works for you.
I guess for me, yeah, obviously a little bit different because when I travel I'm normally away for a few days and then I guess I'm home for a few days. So I guess majority of my friends have like your typical 9 to 5 type jobs, like Monday to Friday, so they're typically free on weekends. Which some rosters, like I have like every weekend off, and then some rosters which we get like month by month, I'm never home on weekends. So it varies for me, I guess. But yeah, typically like because I'm away a few days and then I'm home a few days, like I'm off for a few days, typically within that period or space of time, then yeah, I can catch up with friends and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's maybe the differences in maintaining social life domestically and international stuff.
Do you guys have any tattoos? If yes, how many, and the story behind them? If no, do you plan on getting any? I don't have any tattoos, I'm scared of needles. But I like the idea of them, and I mean I wouldn't say I would never get one. I might, but I don't have any, no.
And yeah, I currently don't have any, but I've been thinking about getting one for a long time. I'm just kind of unsure of where to get it, I guess. I haven't really been able to find a clear rule within my company about the tattoos, because I've been asked that question a few times, kind of directly, and yeah, I don't really know how to advise because I can't really find clearance myself. When I'm like really close to getting one, then it's simple. I can just literally ask my manager within the company and they can get an answer for me. I mean, I would definitely say like your blanket answer where you can see them. So obviously pilots, you can wear long sleeve shirts, stuff like that. But I know plenty of guys that do have tattoos.
I think it depends on each airline as well. I know some overseas airlines won't allow you to have any tattoos even if you can cover them up. So if you have a tattoo, they won't progress you to the next stage if you have tattoos. Whereas if you don't have tattoos, you'll be progressed.
Right.
Or if everything else falls into line.
Yeah.
Martin Najdov. What haircut do you get, Nick? Also, did you do any aerobatics training? And why did you decide to become a cabin crew?
It's kind of hard to answer what haircuts I get, but it's normally like a 0.5 or 0 to 1 fade on the sides and then the top. I don't know, my barber does a good job. He's been cutting my hair now for probably over a year. Did you do any aerobatics training? I did, yeah. It was part of our course.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was like 5, I think it was only 5 hours.
It was scary. Did you go like upside, like,
yeah.
Wait, hold that thought.
6.5 hours later.
Wait, oh. So you're on the runway, you're taxiing V1, what's it called? VR?
VR, which is called rotate, that's when you actually lift up. V1 is your decision speed.
Gear up, turn, and then so you would do like this. Like this.
Yeah.
And you'd go like
yes.
And then you'd do like a narrow bowl dive, whatever it's called.
Done the first 2, not that one.
Okay, what about this? This.
No. But yeah, I did aerobatics. Another one which we did, which was pretty cool, was like this one, came up here, and you like basically did this, and then you did like, I forget what it's called.
That makes me feel sick.
If you guys could see that properly. Yeah, so I did aerobatics training. I wasn't a massive fan of it personally, so Red Bull, I don't know if I'll ever be going for Red Bull, for example.
Thumbs up or comment on this video if you want us to do videos with a model aeroplane to explain things better, like, oh, what was your scariest flight? And then I would say, oh, we were in the air like this, going around Australia, and then I had
okay. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, if you guys ever want to like see us do, I don't know, maybe some like more informative
like aircraft.
Yeah, explaining
stuff.
Aircraft stuff. I mean, I don't have an instructor rating or anything. And why did you decide to become a cabin crew member?
My sister is a flight attendant. Shout out to Sarah. And she...
Hold on, sorry, I keep interrupting. Fun fact, my sister's name is also Sarah. Em has an older sister who's also named Sarah.
Yeah. And we both have members in our family who are also in the aviation industry. Yeah, so my sister was a flight attendant and has been for quite a while. So I used to see her and how much fun she would have going to work and going on trips and just having an awesome time. So yeah, it was a bit of a different career change, but I love it, it's awesome.
Also, if you aren't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now, because the next video is actually going to be the first time me and Dad flying together. So as Em just said, my dad also is in the aviation industry. He's also a pilot. So yeah, the next video, which has already happened, but sequentially, we want to get this Q&A out before that video. And surprise, Em also came on that trip. She also flew on that trip, and I did a PA, and it was the most nervous I've been ever on PA. Obviously, Em was on board, and she actually also recorded that. So yeah, I might put that in the next video. Comment down below if you guys want me to actually put in the PA I did from the flight.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, I sounded nervous.
Everyone laughed and clapped.
Hold on, they didn't laugh, did
No,
they?
but they were like laughing because it was sweet.
Anthony530, you asked, can you explain what ketchup is? If you go to 2 videos ago, I basically talked that whole video about the ketchup experience and everything like that. So hopefully that video can help you out. Pete Heffernan, hey Nick, what has been the age of the oldest cadet at your airline? Is it still possible for a person in mid to late 30s to still do a cadetship? I'm a qualified civil engineer and very proficient in maths and physics. My dream as a child and now has always been to fly. I would first of all say, it is never too late to chase your dreams, first of all. So yes, it is never too late. The oldest I was aware, actually when I was doing the cadetship, there was a guy, I think, sorry, the camera just died there. As I was saying, low 30s. So yeah, definitely, if you're still in your 30s, I mean, even 40s. Honestly, why not? Will Duns asked, do you guys hope to work for the same airline one day?
Nah.
Hold on. We've talked about it. We thought it would be sick if we did work for the same airline one day. Probably especially internationally, because then we'd get to like travel to places together for work.
One day maybe, hopefully. Kirsten Peterson, can you please tell me with what and how you edit your videos and vlogs?
It's a good question. I guess the equipment, I use the main camera I use whenever I vlog is, which I'm using right now, is the Canon G7X Mark II. I thought it was a very good price point, and the camera as well, and it's very compact and portable. So obviously, basically my vlogs are kind of travel vlogs and stuff, so I needed a really compact camera. Drone, I have a DJI Mavic Pro. For drone stuff, GoPro, I have like a GoPro Hero 5, I think it is. But the software I use is Final Cut Pro X, and yeah, it's taken me a bit to, I guess, you know, progressively get better at Final Cut Pro. It's basically like iMovie, which anyone uses a Mac. iMovie is a basic Apple app which they include, and then Final Cut Pro is kind of like a pro version of iMovie, if that makes sense. But there's heaps of tutorials on YouTube, obviously, about how to use Final Cut Pro and things like that. So yeah, if you're interested, just Google a bunch of those. But yeah, that's kind of all the equipment and software I use.
Roma Khan, what is the secret of Emily's fitness? I think it depends on my schedule, how much time I have, where I am, what the hotel gym is like, but usually I've got an injury at the moment, so I haven't been working out as much as I would like. But it depends. I like weight training. I'm not hugely into cardio. I like going for hikes and stuff, but I usually stick to a weight-based training routine as well as Pilates. So if a lot of the time I'll take like a resistance band. I used to take weighted ankle like straps on trips, so I can do in my room like hotel Pilates workouts and stuff. So
cool, so that's going to be it for this Q&A video. So thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support. If you did like it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you aren't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You guys will be the first to be notified when a new video does come out. As I said, the next video is going to be a very special one, so be sure to subscribe and you won't miss that. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching once again, and we'll see you guys next vlog.
see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.